What's up, Yuchi here. In this video, we're going to talk about how we can sell our house for the most amount of money possible. Now, remember, buying a house is often an emotional decision, so there's a lot of things we can do to increase the chances that potential buyers fall in love with our house and pay top dollar. Let's jump right in. Right off the bat, we should be on a schedule. For example, if we know we're going to sell our house next year, we should do some of our bigger upgrades right now so that not only can we sell our house for more money, we can actually enjoy some of the upgrades while we're still living in that house. The best ROI for upgrades happen in the kitchen and in the bathroom. But you don't have to spend tens of thousands of dollars doing upgrades. You can do some of the small stuff that increase property values as well. These things include changing the floors, upgrading the cabinets, changing your hardware, and even painting. And these things make a material difference. A few months before we list our house, it's important to make sure that we've made the necessary repairs. This includes scratches on the hardwood, replacing carpet, maybe getting the shingles replaced, and fixing any leaky faucets or light switches that don't work. This also includes issues with the HVAC, AC, electrical, or any other things wrong with the house. Now remember, when buyers put offers to buy our property, oftentimes they'll include an inspection clause. And when they come in and do the inspection and find that there's issues with our house, they might just walk away. So it's important to get these repairs done as soon as possible before listing our house. A few weeks before we list our house, it's really important to recondo the entire house, and that means decluttering and depersonalizing. Remember, we want buyers that walk through the door to imagine themselves living in the house. So we must depersonalize, which means get rid of any family photos, and we must declutter, get rid of any excess belongings and furniture, and make the space as open and as beautiful as possible so that buyers will fall in love when they walk through the door. And additionally, we gotta make sure our house not only is clean, but smells good. Before any showings, make sure to get rid of any pet odors and make sure to clean the house. This not only applies to the inside of the house, but applies to the outside of the house. With the outside of the house, spruce up the landscaping, paint the garage door, get the driveway nicely done, because first impressions matter, and the first thing buyers will see is your curb appeal. So make sure that the house is clean and ready to go, both on the inside and out. And finally, staging. Staging works. Before you list your house on the market, make sure your house is professionally staged, because that will increase the likelihood that potential buyers will fall in love with our house. Staging works. Once all that's done, our goal is to get as many buyers through the door as possible. And this can only be done with great photos and videos. So it's important to hire a professional photographer and videographer that can capture our house beautifully. When Airbnb first launched, nobody booked it until one of the founders, who was a hobbyist photographer, went and took photos of the listings himself. The photos increased in quality, and then the number of bookings increased, and now look at Airbnb. So it's super important to get great photos and great videos so that buyers can actually come through the door and see your house in person. One of the other factors we must consider is knowing when to sell. The real estate market is no different than the stock market or the crypto market. We must know when to sell. Our goal is to sell when inventory is low and demand is high. Therefore, buyers will buy at the highest price possible. Now, the time of year is important, the market and our neighborhood is important, and also the interest rate is important. So take those things into consideration when figuring out when to sell. Knowing what to price our house for is extremely important. Now remember, the first week that our house hits MLS and hits the market, that will be when the most number of eyes are on our property. So it's important to price our house correctly. We don't want to overprice, because if we overprice, no one's going to buy it and it's going to sit on the market for a very long time. Buyers will get skeptical because they'll be like, is something wrong with that house? Why is it not selling? And we're going to end up selling for less than market rate. So it's super important to price our house right. How do we know what to price our house for? Well, your realtor will be able to do a comparative market analysis for you. And what that basically means is they have the data of what other houses have sold for in your neighborhood. Now, there's no perfect way to exactly figure out how much your house will sell for because it's sort of an art and a science. We can see that the house down the road sold for $1 million last week and it had the same number of bedrooms and was a similar square footage, but maybe our backyard is a little nicer, has a slightly nicer view, and we have a double car garage and they have a single car garage, or maybe our kitchen is a little more upgraded and maybe their bathroom is a little more upgraded, right? So there's no perfect way to gauge how much we should price it for, but a CMA will give you the correct range as to what the market expects. And remember, at the end of the day, our house is worth however much someone is willing to pay for it. So we gotta make sure our buyers fall in love. Now, there's two common ways to handle the offer process. Number one is we list our house at market rate and we accept offers anytime. So that means if we have a showing tonight at 8 p.m. and that buyer comes through the door, they can put an offer in that night and we can start negotiating right away. This is an excellent, excellent strategy. The second option is we can list our house slightly below market rate. So let's say townhouses in this market go for $1 million. Well, we can list for $899 or $799. Now, obviously we don't expect to sell at that low amount, but listing lower means more people will actually come to the house, and hopefully some people will fall in love when they actually see the house because we've done everything right beforehand, and hopefully this will start a bidding war and we will actually yield the highest amount when we sell the house. Both strategies work excellent, so it's up to you to decide. Finally, when we do get offers, it's important to negotiate and close. Now remember, it's not always about getting the highest price possible. Sometimes an offer at a slightly lower price but has no conditions is even better. Why? Well, if an offer has multiple clauses such as a property inspection, financing, even if we've sold the house conditionally, that buyer can still back out of the deal for whatever reason they like. And that means we have to go back and do showings again and try to get another offer again, which is a waste of time. And time is money. So when looking at offers, it's important to not only look at the price, but look at other things about the offer as well. Now, in today's market, it's very common for a house to have multiple offers on it. There's just not enough supply. So what can we do? Well, in that situation, we can just negotiate with the best or the top 2 or 3 offers and try to get them to do better. But then the risk is we don't get a deal done with them and we lose all of the other offers as well. The other option we have is to send all the offers back and ask everyone to do better because there's multiple offers on it. We might get a higher dollar price when the offers come back, but again, the risk is we might lose out on the offers because buyers aren't interested anymore. Now, this really is a delicate balance between risk and reward, so prepare accordingly. Now, finally, what are the costs with selling your house? As a seller, we don't have to pay land transfer tax, that's on the buyer, but we do have to pay realtor fees, which is around 5%, and we also have to pay legal fees in terms of handling the money and handling the transfer of the house. Congratulations, we accepted an offer and we sold our house for top dollar. Now, selling and buying a house is nothing new. It's been done for a very long time, and I don't see any major changes happening towards the process outside of maybe regulations or crypto entering the market. But that doesn't mean there's no work involved in selling our house. Remember, at the end of the day, buying a house is an emotional decision. Our goal is to get potential buyers as emotionally attached to our house as possible. That way, they'll pay top dollar. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.